This episode of the Naperville Moms Network is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor Edgewood Clinical Services, providing comprehensive counseling and mental health services.
Welcome to the Naperville Moms Network, a mom-focused talk show focusing on motherhood and family. My co-hosts Erica, Sarita, and Patti are glad you're joining us today. Hard to believe that December is upon us. No matter what holiday you celebrate, this is the time of year that families and friends gather to enjoy time and traditions together. How do you all celebrate the holidays in your homes?
You know, we don't have any elaborate traditions, but very simple traditions that we started when the kids were younger. But I think that's one of the things that the kids look forward to, those traditions that we have, as simple as they might be. You know, my kids are very particular. There's certain dishes that they love that we have always made over Thanksgiving, recipes from grandparents, family, but they will not let me make it any other time of the year. They want it to be special, something that they look forward to. And you know, as you guys all have around your house, handmade crafts, different things that the kids have done over, you know, their childhood in elementary, middle school. We have them sorted by holiday, so I take out all the ones from Thanksgiving, and they just love looking at all the different ones and brings back memories. So they like when I decorate with all their childhood stuff. So it's just simple traditions. I think is just expecting that every year in, year out is what makes the holidays special.
Looking forward to it.
Right,
Yep,
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know for us, I love having a Christmas tree up, like love it. And so I normally put it up, you know, somewhere in November. And the year I first got divorced, it was like, it became like a Thanksgiving tree. And then it came a March, you know, Madness tree. And finally when my friends came over, they're like, we're having an intervention, like we're taking this down. But for me, you know, I love that every ornament on that tree means something to me, right? And so the process of getting together and, you know, getting the tree up and looking at it like, oh my goodness, this was, you know, the one that one of my patients gave me when you were born, and this is what you made. And, you know, it's just such a nice time to remember those stages of the kids growing up and look at the different pictures and the special memories. And that means a lot to me. And I just like the lights because it makes me happy.
And we actually have from my husband and I, like, craft ornaments that we made that our parents have given us.
I don't have any of that.
The box dumped that. And so it's so cute to see. Even I'm picturing an ornament of my husband at probably age 4 or 5, and then you can look at my son, you know, around the same age. And I love that, bringing up all of the holiday decorations, and then my kids will say, "We're happy little working elves," and you know, we decorate, and it's just, we put on the music and food. I mean, how can you not? You know, I'm Italian, so we always have pasta with everything, but also on Christmas. And my husband is Mexican, so there's the tamales.
Oh, there's that.
So those tamales
tamales
are
are good.
amazing. And again, you really only get them once a year because it's so much work and they
to
make
do.
so many.
All right, so I always feel like I am the bearer of bad news in this group. Like, I'm always the one that says, oh, your kids are never going to remember that, or they're not going to stop being sleep deprived when your teens are older. But now, as the parent of the older children, I get to say holiday traditions are a big deal. Like, those are the things that last, and those little tiny moments that you do year after year are things that they actually really look forward to. A few years ago, my daughter had some friends come over from college during the summer, and as they were walking up the stairs, she actually said to one of them, "Wait till you come and see my house at Christmas." And it was like this moment where I thought, wait, what is our house like at Christmas? And it wasn't so much the specific, decorations or anything, but I think it was just the feel that we have during the holiday season that just my kids really love coming home from college too. We have to do the same things every time, and if we change it up, like if I decide to have a dish for Christmas Eve instead of Christmas Day, then that becomes like a whole big discussion. But it is those little tiny things that they do remember and want to come back to.
When we were growing up, we always always went to my aunt and uncle's for Christmas Eve, and then the four of us always stayed home together on Christmas. And my parents just kind of set that as an expectation, like this, we want to, wake up with the kids here, we want to open up the gifts, and that doesn't work for every family, but it did for ours. And the dinner that we would have would be artichokes and garlic bread. So my mom made the most amazing, like buttery garlic steamed artichokes, and so she would have like 8 huge ones, and then just loaves of garlic bread. Like, what an odd thing to select, but to this day, every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I want to make that and add it to our holiday because it was such a good memory for me.
We my parents started as my brother and I got older. Stocking stuffers get trickier, right? So they started putting scratch-off lottery tickets in our stockings. Well, and then as we got older, our families grew, and so now we have, 12 stockings, and we all get scratch-off lotteries. So it's so fun because we all come to the table and everyone has their little quarter, and we all sit there and we scratch them off and keep our piles. And it was so funny to see my grandmother, who's 88, all the way to my son, who was 3, getting him started early on the illegal gambling, scratching off and seeing who won. And I think it's one of the things we really look forward to is just that 10 minutes sitting around I won $2, or
And the easiest things are always the best things. Like, I can remember a cousin of mine told this story once when her girls were little, and she wanted to make the perfect Christmas morning. So she got up super early and she lit all the candles, and she had music playing, and the kids ran down. But as they ran down and commotion started, her hair caught on fire with one of the candles, and so she was had to get it out. And so her kids to this day would be like, "Remember that Christmas when Mom's hair caught on fire?" Like, it wasn't that, because it's like when you try too hard, and this isn't going to be the moment you want. Like, the tradition's now going to be Mom's hair is going to catch on fire. Like, it's going to be something horrible.
She's got to live up that.
That's
next
right. Right. Got to keep going to the next level.
And it's so true what you were saying with my kids. As they get older, some of the traditions like gingerbread houses or things, I'm like, maybe we don't need to do, but they do want to hold on to as long as they can, even with some of our make-believe traditions. I'm like, you guys are old enough now. So I think it's just their childhood, the memory of.
Well, and
they go
even
along with it,
carrying it on. Like my daughter doesn't, believe anymore, and so she actually asked me. She said, "Can I help hide the elf? Like, can I be like the helper to keep it up for the younger?" And I thought, that's what it's about, right? That's what it's about.
She realized
keeping it alive for others.
When I was growing up, my uncle painted for my sister and I. It was the night before Christmas, but it was a puzzle. And so it was a picture I think he created and then painted the entire thing and then broke it up into wooden puzzle pieces. And on the back of them have a number. And when he presented it, every piece was wrapped up and had the little tag for the part of the story that went along with it. Well, somewhere, growing up and I moved and stuff like that, I didn't have it. And at some point he needed to fix it. So my mom had given it back to him. Well, a few years ago, he and his wife, my aunt, moved to Naperville, and for Christmas he comes with this, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'd forgotten all about it. And so I wrapped up every piece and I put the little things, and I think I was a little more excited than my kids to unwrap it. I'm like, it's day number 4, let's open up the number. They're like, okay, Mom, we'll open up the puzzle piece.
That's
but really,
cool.
those things do really stick with you.
They really do, and it is sometimes it's just as fun for us, and that's okay during the holidays. I think like this is the time that we can do that. Like, there is something really great about the gift that you get, the thing your child wanted the most, and you found it. Like, every year it always seems like there's something that everybody wants
hottest.
And you can't ever find it, and you get it, and just the look on their face, or just anything that they want to. Last year we got our kids a dog. So we changed up the whole tradition. This year we're not doing that. We're not doing
now what?
A pet. Right? There will be no pets under the Christmas tree this year, for sure. But you do, it is just those little tiny things that bring me just as much joy as they bring the kids, which
and
I love.
Friendships too. So our friend group since sophomore year of high school, which was like 94, maybe 95, we went over to our friend's parents' house and baked cookies. We called it a cookie party, and we exchanged ornaments. And we would bake them for our families or boyfriends if we had them at the time. So every year, we did it at college. We would come home, and we are now almost 40, and we have done it every single year, no matter what. No
awesome.
kids allowed. And we have, but it's so funny because it went from, you know, rolling the dough and refrigerating it and staying up all night to making these cookies to now realizing, can we just bring the cookies, put them on the table, open the wine so we can talk for, 8 hours uninterrupted. But I swear to you, I hope that we are, 60 and still doing this.
We do that with we have a group of friends that we started years ago because we were always with kids. And so we decided at our house, we were going to have a cocktail party for the holidays, the first weekend of December, and no kids were allowed. You had to find a sitter, and it became, every year, it got a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. But it was so fun to just hang out, and one year we didn't have it, and we had people that thought that they weren't invited. And so then I had to be like, no, I mean, everyone's invited. It's just, but it was like those little, and we still do that. I mean, our kids are all grown. Nobody needs a sitter anymore, but they really, it's like, when's the holiday party? We got it on our calendar.
I think we're all so busy day to day, so the special time we get to spend with our families and friends just makes it more, special.
My family, I haven't lived around family for most of my life here, and so you talk about friendships, and I had lots of friends over the years that just kind of adopted our family, and so there have been times where a couple days before a holiday, especially after I got divorced, there were times where I didn't have any plans for Thanksgiving, and I remember running into someone at church, and she was like, "Oh, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?" And I was like, I'm not really sure. I'm like, the boys are with Chris. And she's like, oh my goodness, no. She's like, you are coming to our house. She's like, you now have plans. And, they just kind of adopted me into their family for a day. And that was so kind. So we've been shown a lot of kindnesses. And for my extended family, we always pick the first weekend of December and we go somewhere because it's tough to, travel around the holiday. We live all over the country. So that's been a nice tradition that we can bring with one another and look forward to in a different setting,
Right. I love that. We do that with extended family too. For Indiana, and that was because we wanted to be home on Christmas morning with the kids, and so we do the weekend before. We go to Indiana with our families.
My kids are the same way too. At Christmas time, they want to be at the house and not visiting someone.
It is just a great time of year all around. I love talking about all these fun memories and exciting traditions. However you choose to celebrate the holidays, we wish you a wonderful season. We'll be right back with more of the Naperville Moms Network.